Hey, Michael Wall here. Listen, I've been in the financial space for over 25 years, owned multiple financial companies, coached 120 advisors, commentated for national media, and currently run a multifamily office with wealthy families. Today, we're going to react to some advice that's been given online so you can know the truth of what you should really believe.
I can't write off a private chef, but if I invite somebody over every single night to have business meetings with me and I hire a private chef to cook the meals, I can write off the private chef and the food that went into making the meal. This is how I'm able to afford having that private chef every single year, every single month, every single day inside of my house, making me and my wife meals along with my friends, family members, and my business clients, who also some of my family members sit on my board of directors.
So can you write off your meals like that if you hire a private chef and do all that? That's really the question. Listen, there's a lot of gray in the IRS tax code. There's no doubt about it. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure you find the gray, but you still live to play. What do I mean by that? You want to make sure that you're making good decisions around what you can and cannot do. Having somebody come in and hiring a chef and being in a place where you're bringing friends in and you're calling it a business meeting. And by the way, now you're doing it online and you're posting this socially. So that way, if the IRS wants to go back and backtrack, you have visual evidence of the fact that you're saying you're bringing your chef in and you're bringing your friends in and you're basically just throwing a party. I got to tell you, you're going to have some challenges. There are ways that you can write some of these things off. Technically, as the code states now, and it changes along the way every year, there's only certain things you can write off if you have people over. Like if you take somebody out to dinner or have them over to your house, you're going to be limited to what you can write off for yourself. And by the way, now you're saying friends and family online. How can you actually prove that this is a real business activity? You'll notice in the end of the video, he talked about my board of directors. Hey, I'm going to have a board meeting and I'm going to have people over and I'm going to have a chef. That's one thing. And that's certainly viable. And I think you can do that. And I think you're not going to have problems. But when you start bringing family and friends over on a regular basis, because you want to hire a chef 2-3 days a week, you're going to start to run into challenges of how you're going to be able to prove viably that this is able to be a deduction on your taxes. The beautiful thing about the code is there's so many opportunities that we can take advantage of that literally can allow you to almost have a net zero or close to a net zero tax margin. However, if you do it wrong, or you try and push the envelope, or you're trying to create things that are not what they are, you're going to find yourself in a place where you might be playing catch up along the way because you're doing things that are, quote, illegal. I don't want you to do that.
Who am I here with today?
My name is Dr. Shaquille O'Neal.
And you generated and made hundreds of millions of dollars throughout your career. There's a stat Sports Illustrated just did that 1 in 3 NFL players go broke within 3 to 5 years. What's the best way to preserve that kind of wealth?
I think for those who are not financially literate, learn this word, annuity.
And among yourself and the most highly successful people that you study and know, what is that one trait they all have in common?
They keep it very simple. Like Jeff Bezos said, you invest in things that's going to change people's lives. I heard him say that and I changed my whole investment strategy and been very, very successful.
What's the number one thing that you look for in people when you're investing in a business?
I like to believe in what they believe in. Like, for example, if you was going to start this company and you came in with those beautiful eyes and you told me your passion, I would definitely invest in you.
Love it. Love those thoughts from Shaq. You know what I love about what he had in his title of his name? Doctor. How many times do you see an athlete that goes back and actually says, I'm going to get my doctorate because I want to actually be learned and understand things along the way? He did that. Kudos to him. Shout out to him. Love that. But you know, one of the things that he talked about is the idea of learn the word annuity. That might mean investing in annuity itself, which is an insurance product, which gives you safety and it gives you the ability to earn money. It gives you income that you cannot outlive. But there's a lot of other investments out there as well. By the way, annuity by definition is not, quote, considered an investment. It's considered a product. But what I got to tell you, one of the biggest things that I think he's referring to there is the idea of generating consistent income. You've heard it called mailbox money in many, many ways. You want to find investments that give you the ability as you grow your wealth to create generated cash flow. Now, you hear the word cash flow all the time in different capacities, but this is really important because what happens is when you have cash flow that you can depend on, then you can take that cash flow and actually invest it into other things. So the idea of an annuity is creating income that you can't outlive. And when you look at your investments and you look at what you're doing, you want to try and continue to stack different types of cash flow or annuity, quote, payments, not from an annuity specifically, but a variety of different things along the way, which gives you the ability to invest in more, borrow more, grow more, and actually expand your wealth more fast, bad English, but more significantly. Do that, you'll find differences along the way as you build that cash flow, invest in more, and grow your wealth.
You wanted to be financially set, so you did trading crypto.
Yes. I turned 40,000 into $500,000 in 10 days. I'm using a lot of tools, fundamentals, trading charts, and I'm also using astrology.
Was that a joke?
No, seriously. The two biggest black swan events in crypto, FTX and Luna, happened on the day of the eclipse in Taurus and Scorpio, which is the money houses. The man who invented our phone, Steve Jobs.
Yep.
He went to India to study Vedic astrology.
What went wrong?
Because of the FTX and Luna, I lost 70% of my portfolio.
So here he ends it. He lost 70% of his portfolio talking about astrology, and yet he made a bunch of money, turned 40 into 500,000. My encouragement is I don't know that I would be using science and astrology to make investment decisions. I'm not saying there aren't some coincidences along the way, and certainly I believe in the spiritual world. There's no doubt about it. But at the end of the day, when you're looking at your day-to-day wealth and making decisions, you're going to look up to the sky and say, you know what? I'm going to invest a lot of money today because I saw a sign or I saw something. Probably not a good idea. And I'm not saying don't be open to new ideas. We need to be open to new ideas. Absolutely. Technology changes life. We have all kinds of things today that can help you invest. Here's the challenge though. There's too many folks out there that are making money on the backs of a lot of people that don't know a lot about investing. And then the masses end up losing a bunch of money. It's kind of the way the system works. I want to challenge you to think about what are some of the muscles that you can develop in your own life where you can learn things that will actually be beneficial to you for the long term on your investment journey. That's one of the reasons that we've created the financial alphabet as well as a variety of other things to help you become more empowered on this journey. Empower yourself, learn things necessary to help your investing muscles grow so that way you don't get caught up in the get-rich-quick schemes, but you're also in a place where you can make better decisions for your long-term wealth. So important. Get the muscles built to help sustain your wealth.
If you're 18 years old and you invest $300 a month for 8 years, and then at 8 years, you no longer invest again, you'll be financially free by the time you retire. At 8 years, you would have invested $28,800. And if it was invested in the stock market, which has earned about 10% each year for the last 30 years, and because of compound interest at retirement age, which is mid-60s, you'd have $1.8 million.
So I think that's a valid point, and it's also a great foundation to think about. It's the idea of compounding. And by the way, just to play around, if you go to investor.gov, there's a compounding calculator that you can pull out and look at. It'll help you kind of play with numbers of what it would look like. The key here is creating a process, being consistent. But the other thing that you got to know is most people that I've met with over the years, and the families that we've served and the different financial companies that I've had that have built significant wealth, oftentimes they have not built significant wealth in the stock market. They've built significant wealth because of ideas that they had that they put to work. That doesn't mean that you don't invest in the stock market. It just means that if that's your only strategy, you're going to be in a situation where you're going to build some wealth, but I think you're going to miss out on some opportunities along the way as well. Remember, this whole idea of buying power, the buying power of money is important. $1.8 million or $2 million or $5 million or $10 million might sound like a lot of money to some of you out there right now. But if you take a look at what that money, let's just say $1 million, would be able to purchase 40 years from now, you're going to be buying much, much less than you can today. So it's this idea of, yes, do that, but it's this and. Find your purpose, find your passion, do something significant with the ideas that are in your mind, and do something that you can look back and say, wow, I've created a significant legacy because I actually stepped out, took some risks, and did my passion.
You have a salary, that's called comfort. There's zero growth and zero progress in a salary job. If you don't have a dream, then you'll buy into a salary. Listen to me, there's no growth in comfort. The reason why that salespeople get paid so much money is because the 3% of population of the world, which are salespeople, fuel the other 97%. And the other 97% don't move and nothing's happened until something is sold, because no one gets paid and nothing happens until a sale is made.
It's true. I mean, think about this for a minute. Every single part of a business, other than sales, where money comes into the door, is cost. The accounting department, cost. A service person, cost. All of these other things are cost to turn the lights on, expenses. The only thing that actually brings money in the door is actually sales. So this is important for you as you take a look at this. What are you doing to improve your skill set? You might say, well, you know what? I'm not a salesperson. Good news is no one is a naturally born salesperson. This is something that takes effort, it takes time, it takes learning. When I started my career years ago, I sold books door to door, knocking doors 80 hours a week to people that I didn't know. One of the things that I learned from Zig Ziglar is the importance of actually how I see myself. Learn how to grow and develop who you are and how you see yourself. That will help you grow and develop. So a quick tip to help you do that is really to change the way you think. When a negative thought comes in, something negative about your life, or maybe you're not good at, etc., dismiss it immediately and think something positive about you. Think about where you want to be. These are all great techniques to transition your thoughts. What are you doing to renew your mind to get into the lane of sales and selling yourself? And you know what that'll do? It'll help you grow your income, ultimately grow your wealth. All right, so we gave some reactions to a variety of different videos, some good thoughts, some bad thoughts. We have so many chatty Cathys out there in our world today that give comments and input on a variety of different things that have never built anything themselves. That's a benefit, I guess, of social media, is we get to all socially comment. It's also a negative. There's a lot of people sharing information that really don't have expertise and experience in a space or a field. Let us know some things that you'd like to hear more about along the way. We want to share that with you. Make sure you like and subscribe for more of this content. Take time, get knowledge, and be intentional with your life. It's your life. You got one chance to live it. Be blessed. Talk to you soon.